Que pasa, FunAhead fans? Today we're working on, actually not this 911, we are working on my friend Elon's 911. This is a 1978 911 SC. And unfortunately, it recently got money shifted. So he has the engine on a stand here, and we're about to take the heads off because it seems that maybe some valves kissed pistons. So next move is to get the timing chains out, get the heads off, and then see what's up with it. Alright, so first things first, and I apologize for the terrible camera angle, but first we are taking the timing chain cover off. So timing chain cover 1 is off for bank 2. Elon was telling me, because I'm so done with air-cooled engines, that this is actually a Carrera mod. This was not on the, this tensioner style was not on the SC stock. It was a spring tensioner. Okay, and you'll see better here in a second because I finally get wise to it and realize that that camera angle sucks. But we, at this point, have the timing chain covers off, as you can see. But there are these massive nuts that hold the timing chain sprockets on. So we were fiddling with how to get that off. We have the correct sized tool for it, the crow's foot socket, but we're just fighting it. All right, so status update. Currently, we're trying to get this massive bolt, or this massive nut, off of the cam gear. And it's a 46-inch crow's foot that needs to be a 46 millimeter. No, it's 46 inch. 46 millimeter. It's a massive nut, and it needs to be counter held in the middle here. And it's a super pain to kind of get your crow's foot on there and then be counter holding it with an adjustable wrench. There's actually a special tool which Elon is looking into ordering now, because we're realizing that when you're putting an adjustable wrench on the middle there and trying to hold it, it actually just doesn't work that well. Yeah, so look how massive this thing is. His hands for scale. Oh, and that's torqued to 200 foot-pounds. I forget if I mentioned that, but so it's obviously not just a quick flick of the wrist and you get it off. So that's the holdup currently. All right, party people. So update: we did get it off. This massive nut. Look at this thing. We gave it one last college try, and we were able to get it off, and we graduated. So we can now, we've got the main cam sprocket loose, and time to move on to the next step. All right, so now that the cam chain sprocket is loose, we moved on to removing the bolts that held on the rest of the cam chain, or the timing chain cover. And then we went on to loosening the bolts that hold on the cam tower to cylinder heads, which we later found out was a silly thing to do the way we did it. Well, update, we're making progress. So
bang, bang, bang.
Yeah, we have the sprocket taken completely off of the cam. The cam is loose now, as you can see. We have all the bolts taken off of the upper portion here. So this is just RTV'd in place. And we're just trying to
gasket, like the 3-bond stuff, Honda bond, 3-bond, super bond on the bottom of here between the cylinder head and the cam tower.
Gotcha.
So this little line right here, all up underneath, that's the only gasket there is.
Okay.
We'll form a gasket, just like the case has.
So we've got to separate that, and that's what's holding it on right now. So we've got the Persuasion currently trying to get it separated. And then it'll be off, and we can look at some valves a little closer.
You ever slammed a hammer into a $12,000 engine? Ever had the pleasure?
The other thing that was giving us trouble too is this case part is supposed to come out, but it's very constrained in here, and
it gets above a certain point.
Yeah, it's up there, but it's so we decided we're just gonna wait till we get this off to let the rest of that come out
In one piece.
Yeah,
because they're constrained by the cam, and then the nut or the studs being too high.
Yeah, there's these two studs, and there's one on either side here, so there's a lot kind of holding it in place. Alright, so update. we've got the head off, which is sweet. So we ended up not being able to loosen the cam tower, because it was pretty on there. So just taking the head studs out was the solution.
Unfortunately, the head studs instead of the head stud bolts.
Yeah, like as you can see, the nuts didn't want to come off, so the entire bolts came out. Anyway, so we have that off, and the valves, which definitely kissed the pistons, as you can see. I'll show you that here. You can see these marks here. They definitely kissed the pistons when the engine was money shifted, but I don't know. As far as like sealing, it's TBD. Got to be able to. What did you call it, Elon? The tool that sucks and checks if these are sealing correctly.
Yep. So it vacuums basically here on the exhaust runner or intake runner, and all it does is, like I said, pull a vacuum, and it tests, and it has a vacuum gauge. So if you're actually creating a seal here on this ring, and the valve is sealing, you will pull a vacuum. And if the valve isn't sealing, you obviously won't pull a vacuum. So that's the easiest way to test, because if you guys don't know, when you bend the valve, it's not, bent as you think it might be. It's just a very slight offset to where only part of the seat is making contact instead of the entire seat.
Gotcha.
So
yeah, obviously, like he said, we're not going to visually see that, so that is very much TBD at the moment. Anyway, on to bank one. All right, so just a little bit of a follow-up. This is a very different day, and as you can see, we are back at FunAhead headquarters. So we did end up getting the second cylinder head off. I don't show that via video footage because unfortunately it ended up being a huge pain in the butt because we stripped out one of the head stud nuts, which they're Allen heads and they round very easily, as it turns out. So at this point, both heads are out and off the engine. Elon has been working on cleaning every single part, and now it's the waiting game of waiting on parts to come in before everything can start going back together. But I did want to go ahead and show you guys just what the cam towers look like. So as you can see, Elon has pulled the rockers out. Normally those would go in these spots here. Oh, and one thing to note, earlier in this video, we were trying to take these cam towers off of the cylinder heads, thinking that they were held on by just RTV, because we had removed all of these bolts, or all of these nuts rather, and it wouldn't budge, and we were hitting it with the rubber mallet. Well, it turns out, as Elon took off one of these rockers, he realized that these nuts actually were still holding the cam towers in place. Anyway, so yeah, as like I said, the rockers go here and are pinned through there. The cam, as you can see, the cam runs through the center of the cam tower and actuates the rocker, which then pushes the valve down. But as you can see, they are off. The valves are completely out. Well, the valves are in the head, but the valves have been removed. I don't think we have any of those here, and we also don't have any of the cylinder heads here. Anyway, so I just wanted to show you guys a little more closely what this looks like, just because I myself was very unfamiliar, having the very foreign concept of having the basically like the valve cover followed by cam tower followed by individual cylinder heads, or individual cylinders. It's kind of a very different engine architecture from what we are used to today with today's engines. So anyway, that's going to be it for today's video. I hope you guys found this somewhat interesting, and at the very least, maybe a little bit educational about, just how these air-cooled 911 engines are put together. Because, like I said, they're very different from today's engines, and but interesting and really cool. So if you enjoyed this video, please do me a huge favor and hit that like button. Also, if you want to see more content like this in the future, there's plenty more coming. Please hit that subscribe button. We've got the rest of this engine going together in the coming weeks, and then also we've got a big project coming up on that guy this winter. I just ordered all the parts for it about an hour ago. But more details on that in the future. If you want to learn more, please subscribe. Thank you guys so much for tuning into FunAhead TV, and I will see you guys next time.